Yo, what is up, guys? Delboy here. So Lawrence Okolie knocks out Yves Ngabu in the seventh round to become the new European Cruiserweight Champion. Now, where do we start with this one? Most of this fight, I've got to say, was a typical Lawrence Okolie fight. It's what we come to expect now. A lot of holding, a lot of clinching, a lot of mauling, a lot of fouling, and very little by the way of clean boxing. You know, this fight was an eyesore for as long as it lasted. A couple of decent moments here and there, but like I said earlier, just the typical Lawrence Okolie fight. You know, ugly and horrible to watch. I mean, ultimately, I'm not a boxing elitist. I watch all levels of boxing. I enjoy various different styles of fighting in boxing, but Lawrence Okolie is just hard to watch. The fouling, the mauling, the illegal tactics. It's just not for me, you know. I don't really like watching this guy fight, it's got to be said. But, you know, he's getting the job done right now. He's unbeaten. He now moves to 14-0. And in 14 fights, he has now captured the Commonwealth, the British, and now the European Cruiserweight titles. So, you know, that is an achievement in itself. And despite me not liking his style very much, one thing I will say for Lawrence Okolie, and one area where I will give him credit for, is the fact he is willing to take some tough fights. You know, he fought the likes of Matty Askin and Isaac Chamberlain very early on in his career. They were risks, and again, fighting for a European title in your 14th fight against a strong unbeaten dude. You know, he's willing to fight people, so I will give him that credit. The fight itself, you know, like I said, typical Lawrence Okolie affair. Okolie was kind of holding and mauling when Yves Ngabu got close. He was tying him up. Okolie, for the most part, was landing the more eye-catching shots. As Ngabu was coming in, he would try and time him with that short right hand, and he was catching him fairly effectively with that shot. Also, when there was some range between both fighters, Okolie was landing his jab and 1-2. Again, the bread and butter punches of Lawrence Okolie. When he actually has distance and when he's not being pressured, his jab is actually quite good. And that straight right can also be effective. It's nice and straight, it's powerful, it's fairly accurate at times. And yeah, when there was distance, Okolie was landing a few good shots. But, you know, the quality work was few and far in between in this fight. In the clinch, you know, Okolie doesn't really work. He more or less just neutralises you, holds you to death, and then you have to reset once the referee breaks you up to, you know, go again kind of thing. And that was Okolie's game plan in this fight. In the clinch, you know, he landed a good body shot here and there, Okolie. The left hook to the body, he landed a couple of those, which is a good addition to his arsenal. I'd like to see more of that going forwards. But yeah, I mean, I feel like I'm repeating myself. It was the typical Lawrence Okolie fight. Yves Ngabu had some success in the clinch. He was working. He was trying to work, you know, landing some good shots to the side of the head. But, you know, again, few and far in between. When there was distance, Yves Ngabu was totally ineffective, as we would expect. You know, there was a massive height discrepancy in this fight. And yeah, man, he was really on a hiding to nothing. And the fight ended in round 7. Basically, Okolie caught Ngabu with like a short left hook, and he followed up with a lovely right hand to the point of the chin, and he made Yves Ngabu do a rather impressive dance move. I don't know what you want to call it, the Belgian shuffle. I'm not sure what you want to call it, but you know, he made Yves Ngabu do the stanky leg. He was backing up. Okolie was kind of jumping in for the finish, but the referee jumped between them to wave the fight off. I've got to be honest, I felt the referee stopped this fight prematurely. Ngabu was 100% hurt and badly hurt, but in a European title fight, when both guys are unbeaten, it's a fairly big fight. Let these guys have a chance to recover, you know? Let these guys have a chance to recover. I felt he stopped this fight too early, to be honest with you, but, you know, it is what it is. What can we say? But yeah, I guess credit to Lawrence Okolie. He gets the win. He is now the European Cruiserweight Champion in 14 fights. Where does he go from here? I mean, I would have a couple of defences of that European title, and then back end of next year, maybe go for a world title shot. Why not? I mean, I don't think Lawrence Okolie is ever going to be a big name with that style of fighting. He's never going to be a star. So there's no point trying to build this guy's profile because he's never going to be a fan friendly fighter. He's never going to be a fan favourite. So after a couple of more fights, maybe at European level, chuck him in there with a world champion and see what happens. But yeah, they're my thoughts. Lawrence Okolie wins by 7th round knockout. Share your thoughts below. Peace.